Hello everyone and welcome to New River Gorge National Park.
If you missed the last video, feel free to go back and check it out. It was our first time visiting Shenandoah National Park in Virginia, and in the video I show you guys some of the easiest trails and best overlooks to experience if you only have one day in the park. Today we'd be taking the long trip to America's youngest and newest national park, New River Gorge. And when I say long, I don't think I've gone out of the way so much for any other park. Shout out to my parents and aunt because driving 3 hours there and 5 hours back is no small feat.
Am I gonna get copyrighted for this? Don't copyright me, I'm just doing what everyone else does. We're in West Virginia, baby!
Though New River Gorge is new to the national park status, it's actually had a long history of protection within the national park system. In 1978, President Jimmy Carter signed legislation establishing New River Gorge National River, and that's what it's been known as for 44 years until it was redesignated as a national park. Though we didn't get to see the New River Gorge at its peak, either with dazzling fall color or even lush green trees, I still absolutely think it deserved park status judging by what I saw alone. The park is rich in cultural and natural history and offers an abundance of scenic and recreational activities. Perhaps the thing New River Gorge is most well known for is its world-class whitewater rafting. Obviously we went when it was cold out, but if I came back in the summer, I'd love to check this out. The New River itself originates in North Carolina, flowing north through Virginia and then the Appalachian Mountains of West Virginia before merging with the Ohio River. Also, despite its name, New River is actually one of the oldest rivers in the world. It's certainly believed to be the oldest in the US, and while we don't know for sure, many will tell you it's the second oldest river on Earth just after the Nile in Africa. Last thing I'll introduce before we get onto our day in the park is the New River Gorge Bridge. Most national parks that have a centerpiece of some kind have ones that are 100% natural. Some obvious examples include Grand Canyon National Park's Canyon, Crater Lake National Park's Lake, Bryce Canyon National Park's Amphitheater, and Hawaii Volcanoes National Park's Caldera. However, New River Gorge National Park has a man-made centerpiece, which happens to be the 8th tallest bridge in all of the United States. Because of how substantially impressive the bridge is, I think it works really well, and in my opinion, it's the perfect complement to the gorge. As you'll see later in the video, we actually partake in a guided tour called Bridge Walk, where you walk on a catwalk 25 feet beneath the bridge. Despite the fact that I'm a roller coaster lover and adrenaline junkie, exposed heights like that still freak me out. I was lucky enough to get my entire reaction on camera, so stay tuned as that had to be one of the craziest things I've ever done in my life. But first, let's rewind the clock to when we had first arrived at the park to experience Grandview. This imposing and impressive overlook doesn't require a hike to experience, but it is quite out of the way from everything else. When I first laid my eyes on the gorge from Grandview, I was pretty much speechless because it is huge.
It looks big on camera, but it's ginormous in real life.
It was really the perfect first thing we could have done since it gives you a great idea of what to expect throughout the rest of the national park. You'll see the New River snaking its way around some mountains, all from 1,400 feet above the river. Since we got there early, we were the only ones in the parking lot, and getting to experience this view all to ourselves was a pretty awesome experience. We were also rewarded with some deer sightings heading out onto our next spot, and they were not afraid to get close to us. We would now be off to the Endless Wall Trail, which is a 2.3 mile point-to-point hike, or you can do what we did and what most people do and make it a 2 mile out and back trail once you make it to the main Diamond Point overlook. This is a super easy trail and my favorite one in the park. I was very impressed by how scenic it was, as well as how properly maintained it was. Plenty of green leaves were still out in this area, including the sporadic orange and yellow tree as well. Eventually you'll cross over Fern Creek via a little wooden bridge, and it's at this point where you've just about reached the halfway point of the hike. Keep following signs until you reach Diamond Point, where we were greeted by a large turkey vulture flying overhead. This was probably the closest I've ever been to a turkey vulture, so it was really cool. When the endless wall eventually reveals itself, it's absolutely mind-blowing. I've never seen something quite like it. You just have these endless cliffs tracing the perimeter of the New River Gorge, with the green trees atop the endless wall really putting emphasis on the cliffs itself. If you take a slight detour through the trees, you can actually see the New River Gorge Bridge, which was the first reveal we had of it during our stay. Our next hike, however, was really meant to put emphasis on a great view of the bridge. The Long Point Trail is a 3 mile out and back journey that begins like a boardwalk trail but later transitions into a more traditional hiking trail. This was pretty easy the whole way through until you get to the end, where there are some relatively steep elevation to traverse. The last little bit of the hike is pretty exciting though, as you have these cliff faces on either side of the trail and you can tell that you're just about reaching your overlook. The payoff is absolutely wild because the humongous New River Gorge Bridge is smack dab right in front of you. This is the best place in the park to really take in the bridge. You can clearly see how it could be the longest single arch bridge in the Western Hemisphere and 13th highest bridge in the world. It really is an amazing structure and one of the most visually impressive bridges I've ever seen. Both my stepfather Hugh and myself were rather intimidated looking at it from this angle, however, knowing that we were about to walk that entire thing on probably a 2-foot wide catwalk. It was time for bridge walk next and we were getting pretty nervous. At the same time, I was really looking forward to pushing myself out of my comfort zone. Bridge walk could be accessed just across from the Canyon Rim Visitor Center. It costs about $125 per person and the experience lasts for approximately 2 hours. You'll see some signs demonstrating the sheer size of the bridge, and then when it's time to get things going, you meet your tour guide and they will help you get your harness on. Then you're shuttled over to the trailhead, which takes you down to the catwalk. When I first saw the catwalk and how it seemed to never end, my heart did drop, I'll be honest. I was pretty dang terrified by this point, but I'll let all the video clips do the talking. Enjoy. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Whoever wants to go first, I'll go ahead.
Go ahead, Aunt Sherry. Oh boy. Oh my god. We're not even like close to like the max height, and this is absolutely creepy. I don't know how I'm feeling right now, guys. Oh my god. Help. This is f***ing freaky. It's so beautiful, but at what cost? Oh my god, I'm shaking like crazy right now. This is horrifying because the thing actually shakes. The catwalk shakes when there's cars coming over. That's what does it for me.
We're only about 250 feet or so right here, and we're going to go to 850 feet.
Oh, okay, cool. Great. Terrific news. Y'all see the shaking? I know I'm not delusional right now. The scenery is gorgeous, no pun intended, but I'm about to crap myself. My stepfather, she was so horrified.
Oh, I wish I had that.
My hand is shaking as I'm recording.
It makes me feel like...
To my friends and family watching this video, if I don't make it, I love y'all. Damn, okay. We're stomping again. Oh!
It's okay, just breathe.
Hey,
I'm
it
breathing.
is a good thing that it shakes. I always like to say, if it didn't shake, it would crack and break. You don't want it to be so stiff that it doesn't move at all.
Truly scared?
Yes, I'm horrified. I'm not good with heights.
For somebody who loves roller coasters, that's weird.
Mom, how are you doing?
Me.
I'm fine.
Why is my mom handling this better than us?
Hi.
I don't know if my GoPro picks up how much I'm shaking, but... Every time a large car drives over this bridge, I get like a step closer to another heart attack. Oh my god. This is what John Denver did before writing his song? Oh my god. Holy shit.
Hi, this is a
You
good
actually
ride.
have to be kidding me right now.
You're awesome, baby.
She's fearless. This is the highest point. We're above the river. How are you doing?
The thing is, I'm gripping the handrails very tightly. Never relax.
Every time I get a car shake.
So, I am so gripping the handrails all the time.
Mom, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
I have no idea how she's doing so well. My brother is not going to believe this for a second.
Oh,
Looks really pretty
Your mother is
right there.
good with heights.
She is fearless.
Doesn't really
She's
care
going to
about heights.
skydive at age 80. Alrighty, we're walking to the exact center of the bridge now. This is probably a little bit different than the content you're used to on this channel, because a lot of this is commentary and me flipping my but I hope you guys enjoy this.
So this right here is the exact center of the bridge. This W plate in front of us connects the top of the bridge down to the arch.
Okay, we are past the halfway point, so it's only gonna get easier from here. Okay, great. Awesome, we're above land now, so if we fall, it'll only hurt a little bit. Something cool that we just learned is that above us, the harness, it's obviously connected, is the longest safety system on a bridge in the world, which is pretty neat.
You guys look below us, you're gonna notice those white blocks coming out of the ground. Those are concrete blocks. They go about 80 feet into the ground each. There's 12 on this side of the bridge and 12 on the other side, so 24 in total. So I told you about the concrete. I'll tell you a little bit about the steel. So a lot of people assume the steel's rusted just because the way it looks and feels, but it's not actually rust. It's just the type of steel we used on this bridge. It's called Core 10 steel. It comes from Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. This steel is mixed with copper when they make it, so that makes it have this little rough texture to it and the weird color about it as well. But it's actually protected against all the different types of weather we have here in West Virginia. And another reason we chose this steel is because we do not have to paint it. We've actually never painted this bridge, and we will never paint it. And it's actually a good thing we don't paint it, because what happens to paint after a while? It's gonna chip away. And where's it gonna chip away to? Down here in the national park or the river. So it's actually better that we don't paint it, because it would end up animals down there kind of eating the paint, or it getting on their food, they're eating something like that. So it's just better for the environment down there that we don't paint the bridge.
Oh my God. We made it. Yes, I can live another day. You made it.
Well, what did you think about that?
Oh, it was incredible. I'm just like, still like in shock that I did it. Our experience with Bridge Walk was a memorable one for sure. I'm really not sure if I would do it again, but I couldn't be more grateful that I pushed myself to do it this once. If you are up for an adrenaline rush, this is the perfect cherry on top for any day trip to the New River Gorge National Park. While this would be our last stop within national park boundaries, it wasn't our last stop of the day. First, we went to a famous pizza joint nearby called Pies and Pints. I love trying local specialties when I'm traveling, and the pizza certainly lives up to the hype. We brought it over to Cathedral Falls, which I had heard wasn't flowing very hard as of recent, but I still thought it was a very enjoyable and pleasant waterfall, and it fits perfectly in the New River area's aesthetic. Our last stop of the day was Hawks Nest State Park for some more impressive views of the New River. This is a great place to end a day, as it's right outside of the national park and a very tranquil place to visit. There was a really pleasing bridge that complemented the main overlook super well. They also have these telescopes that allow you to see the New River and the little bridge up close. So all things considered, New River Gorge National Park and the area that surrounds it is absolutely breathtaking. This is a park I know I'll be back at someday, especially to see it with a bit more color. But as is, the activities, trails, sites, and bridge walk made it a very memorable experience, and in my opinion, it definitely earned national park status. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed my video from America's newest national park. If you did, feel free to give this video a like and subscribe to Travel Dash for more videos like this to come in the future. Stay tuned for the final episode from this little eastern trip as we showcase the many waterfalls of the Delaware Water Gap National Recreation Area, widely considered to be America's 64th and next national park. Thank you all so very much, and I'll see you very soon. Bye guys.